Huckabee, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jake. Great to be back.
So I have to ask you, Alice Stewart, your campaign's communications director, just announced that she's leaving the campaign. Usually staffers leaving, not a great sign for any campaign. What's behind her resignation?
Well, you know, we got dozens of people in many states working for us. We hate to lose Alice, but she's decided that she's, I think, exhausted from the campaign. She's left. It's her decision, but like in any organization, people leave CNN from time to time. The network still signs on the next day. So we're moving forward. And I think if people try to read more into it than is there, they're going to be making a huge mistake.
So you'll be in the undercard tomorrow night. There are some candidates who have made it from the undercard to the main stage. Carly Fiorina, Chris Christie went to the undercard, then back to the main stage. What do you need to do to jump from the undercard to the main stage?
Well, one good thing about being on the undercard, there's only 4 of us. I think we're going to get more time, more opportunity to answer questions. One of the reasons I ended up on the undercard was because I was not given anywhere near the amount of time on the other debates. And so the one good thing is that I'll actually get to answer some questions. I think it'll be an opportunity for me to talk about why experience matters and why seasoning and the right temperament really matters to be president. So we'll see how that works out tomorrow.
Well, let's talk about temperament, because that's a criticism that many have made of the frontrunner, Donald Trump. I know that you're not one to criticize your fellow candidates, but have you seen temperament issues from some of your rivals that give you pause?
It's more of a matter of maturity, judgment, whether they've had executive experience. A few weeks ago, I was on an airplane, and the plane was delayed, and we waited on a flight crew, and the person at the gate said, "Hey, would anyone like to volunteer to fly the plane?" Everybody laughed because it was ludicrous to think that you would put a person, a total volunteer, in the cockpit, fly people who had never been in the cockpit before. But how foolish would it be to put the future of America in the hands of somebody who had never been in the cockpit, in other words, who had never governed, who had never been in the executive seat of power? I don't think our country is in a position where we can afford on-the-job training or find out after a person gets there whether they have any skills and aptitude to be an executive in government. It's a very different experience than being in legislature, and it's also very different than being a CEO or an executive in the private sector, of which I've been. But governing is different, Jake, and I think people will start getting that more clearly in mind as we get closer to voting.
A lot of voters very concerned about terrorism. According to polls, since the last Republican debate, we've seen the horrors in France, in Paris, France, the terrorism in San Bernardino. If you were commander-in-chief right now, what steps would you take that the current administration is not already taking that might do a better job of protecting the American people, or at least reassuring them?
Well, Jake, one thing, we would suspend any idea of Syrian refugees. We would also suspend the notion of the visa waiver program, because we just don't know who's coming in and are they sneaking in to do damage. We'd take very seriously the growth of ISIS. We would go after them with a fully engaged air campaign, but we would also clearly commit ground troops as necessary, building a coalition of Middle Eastern countries. We would go after them, hunt them down, kill them. The refugees would be able to go back home, because the only reason they're refugees is because ISIS and other terrorist groups have moved them away from their own homes and neighborhoods. So rather than bring them here, let's give them the opportunity to go back to their own homes. But big time, long term, the most important thing we've got to do, Jake, we have to do a complete reboot and rebuild of our military. We have troops that are decimated. We're weak right now in our troop strength in Europe. We have weakened ourselves in the Middle East. We've over-deployed Guard and Reserve troops. The net result is we're just simply not as ready as we need to do. Move some of the bloat out of the Pentagon, move it out into the field, create an army that everybody in this world is absolutely on this planet terrified to face.
Governor Mike Huckabee, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks, Jake.